Better late than never. So I'm a little late on this. This is my October Techno fasting recap. What that basically means is over the month of October, I left my computer off during the week, only turning it back on over the weekends to play video games with buddies and whatnot. Basically, what this was meant to address was getting me to stop watching YouTube all the frickin' time during the day when I was off work and whatnot. And basically, overall, I think it turned out pretty well. So my plan was to spend this time, going through my book backlog, reading a bunch of stuff reading a bunch of the books that have been piling up and whatnot, and also taking part in the Inktober thing that happens where every day you draw a picture using only ink instead of using digital painting or whatnot. So how that went generally, I was kind of expecting that getting that by not watching YouTube or doing anything else, electronic, I would have so much more free time to do everything else. And I did have a lot more free time, but what kind of shocked me was I didn't end up gaining back as much time as I thought I would. Or I guess a better way to phrase it is I didn't end up getting as much done as I thought I would with all the extra free time that I had. So I did end up going through a bunch of books. I did not go through my entire book backlog, which I thought I might. I did make a good hefty dent into it. Finished a few. Read through the entire Dragon Half saga. Those are out on manga, and yeah, technically that's manga. It's not really book. That's picture book, but yeah, whatever. I enjoyed reading it, so I don't care. Anyway, so I did get a lot. Like I said, I did get a lot of reading done. I did not get a lot of drawing done. I was thinking I'd, maybe get, read a book, then do some drawings, maybe actually get a drawing done every day. What I kind of found was that it must be something with how I'm wired. Because I have this big backlog of books, my brain just says, okay, focus on, this backlog. Just, churn through all of this stuff. Because it's kind of like, almost as though, like, must be somehow how I'm programmed or whatnot, that I have to get through all of my back tasks before I get into, get ahead of it. And whereas drawing is, because that's not really, I don't really have like a task, so to speak, for drawing. It's just like, okay, if you're not doing anything else, it's, how should I explain it? It's hard to really explain because it's like drawing a picture is not like, it's not on my backlog to draw a picture. It's like it's on top of any other like task schedule or whatever I might have. Am I making sense here? So it seems like for whatever reason, I'm programmed to focus on my backlog tasks as opposed to front log. Is that a thing? Sure, let's... Alright, I'm coining a new term, front log. Drawing is a front log task, not a backlog task. And for whatever reason, I am focused on backlog tasks. I'm not sure if it's so much focused on backlog as it's more of I'm focused on completionism, I guess. Because there's this, stack of books, and I've gotten through some of them. Some of the books I've gotten through part of it. Some of them I've gotten through a few books in a series or whatever. So I'm just kind of like hyper focused on finishing what I've started, even though I may prefer to work on like a front log task or a different task. It's just like there's just something in me that's just like, okay, I need to finish this before I can move on. And that I'm not really sure how I long story short, I'm glad I did this little experiment because now I kind of understand this about myself a little better, so I can kind of maybe start planning around it. Just sort of like Would I have preferred to maybe set some of this down and work on something else? Who knows? It's definitely something to consider, something to think. Okay, when should I stop something to move on to something else? I guess is what I need to be focused on, which is a weird thing to try to think about, and it's huh. A good example of this is I just played through some Cities Skylines not that long ago, and part of me was like, "Hey, okay, this is interesting." You know, how should I say this? I can't say I was not enjoying it, but I was just kind of obsessively playing it, if that makes sense. Basically, so there's a bunch of different buildings that you can build, and I was just kind of thinking in my mind, okay, I'm gonna build all of these buildings, complete all of these tasks or whatever, build this big city or whatever, and it ended up being hours upon hours upon hours of work, and just some part of me just could not stop working towards this. It's like, okay, I'm spending so much freaking time on this. I just want it to be over so I can move on to something else. But I just couldn't let myself stop playing. I know this is I know there's probably like a psychological, trick that, like maybe like free to play game makers work on. It's where you're like one step away from completing something, and you're just like, okay, I just need to get this one last bit, but that last 1% takes up 90% of the time, sort of thing. So yeah, good to know about myself is I am weak to that, and now I just need to internalize that knowledge and act appropriately in the future. I've seen that in some other stuff too, where it's just like when I did a first impression of like think some clicker game or whatever, I wasn't having fun playing it, but I couldn't stop. If that makes sense. So that's something I have to learn about myself, and just kind of beware if I end up zoning out in a game. Am I actually enjoying the time I'm spending playing it at that point, or am I just I think I think you have an idea what I'm talking about. So it's just I got to be aware of this for myself, and figure out how to break the cycle if I end up in a cycle like that again. I mean, I did end up buying the expansion deal, some of the expansion DLCs for City Skylines anyway. Even after that, even though I was like, okay, I got to stop this, but I have not actually sat down and actually played the game because I'm kind of afraid to actually sit down and play the game, knowing what I know now. Just like, okay, I sit down and start making these mass transit things, and all of a sudden like an entire month is gone and I've done nothing but play Skylines. And so yeah, that's something I gotta be careful of. Anyway, back on the topic at hand, the October thing. So I did learn a bit about how I generally spend time and whatnot. I did lots of reading, like I said. I didn't do as much drawing as I thought I would. Again, because it's like a front log thing, and also reading. I guess maybe kudos to the books I was reading, but it always kept kind of dragging me back in because I wanted to see what happened next in the book. Whereas something like drawing, I guess if I ever get good at drawing, I might get to the point where it's like, okay, I've drawn this much, let's see what I can do later, but I'm not at that point yet, so maybe that might string me along once I get if I get my wheels turning in that direction. So yeah, kind of weird. I wasn't expecting that to happen, but there we go. So was it boring? This experiment was not really boring. Like I said, I did read a lot of books. I did not expect that I'd actually enjoy reading all of these books. Whatever, I thought I might be kind of, like, okay, enough of this, let's do something fun. without the extra distractions from just surfing the web, watching videos and whatnot, I actually found that I actually did enjoy my time over October doing all of this, which is actually quite nice. It was nice and relaxing. I didn't feel like I was just watching one more video of I don't know some. Anyway, I'm getting off topic again. Yeah. Like I said, it was good overall. It was very insightful. You know, for me, for myself, it was very. I did get through a fair chunk of uh, my book backlog. Like I said, I was expecting to get through more drawings, which I did not. Obviously, it was very stress relieving, and honestly, through October, I needed some stress relief, so that was really nice. October is always a terrible month for me. I don't know why October, but whatever. So yeah, everything seemed to work out. It almost got to the point where over the weekends when I was going to turn the computer back on, it's almost like maybe I can hold off a little bit. I want to get a little further in the book or whatever. So I was actually kind of switching gears, trying to almost trying to avoid turning the computer back on, just so I could you know keep going with my chillaxedness. So yeah, that was kind of interesting. So anyway, so I am definitely looking forward to doing this again next October. I almost thought I would do this a month early. I was kind of getting to the point where I was feeling I needed a break, so I almost did it in September instead. But nope, I waited for October, and I think October was a good month to do it in. And I will definitely do this again next October. It was actually kind of wonderful. Uh, yeah, so not can't really say enough bad. Can't really say enough good about it. Can't really say anything bad about it. So yeah, it was definitely insightful, definitely relaxing, definitely enjoyable, and it's not the sort of thing where you need to actually like uh, take any like real vacation days or anything. It's just something you can do at home to de-stress a bit. It was great. So I definitely encourage anyone else to do the same thing over October, especially if you actually do manage to participate in the Inktober thing. It might be a good cross event for you. But yeah, so I'm just gonna stop rambling here. I think I've made my point. So I have no idea how to end it here, but yeah, so let's just end it. Till next time, later.